What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with all the news after Week 11 here in our Columbus Aviators franchise, where the Aviators picked up another loss, this time to the St. Louis Rams, and the defensive woes continue for this young Aviator defense, and it's really becoming a concern. You know, we are allowing teams to pass the ball all over us, we're letting big runs happen consistently, and our defense is just not able to make a lot of plays in the process of it all. The one flip side is our defense did really well in the second half of that last game up until the final St. Louis Rams drive, but ultimately we gave up way too many points in the first half. We couldn't stop anything, and it's really a big issue at this point. We might mess with the sliders, just tweak them a little bit, because the other team's receivers are wide open every single play. It's very, very rarely that they're covered. I've tried man defense, I've tried zone defense, I've tried everything, all different kinds of plays. Nothing seems to be working. So we might just tweak it a little bit and see what we can do there. And that goes for us too. You know, we're completing passes at a decently high rate as well. So, you know, I want to balance it out. I've been saying for a while now, the scores are a little bit too high, and if we can lower them on both sides of the equation, that would be the ideal scenario. Not sure if we'll be able to make it happen. Again, sliders are a really tricky thing, you know. Ideally, I'd love to have the most realistic series I possibly can. And sometimes it's just difficult to find the right balance of sliders. You mess with one thing and the other thing that you worked and perfected gets completely screwed up. I don't know why that is. How those two things correlate doesn't entirely make sense to me. But I promise you guys, I'm going to do the best I can in terms of finding a good slider set. Something nice, something realistic, that can contribute to this being the best series I can possibly make it. And I know it's been a long process. I definitely think we're as close now as we've been before. But obviously there's still a few things that I'd like to adjust a little bit if possible. See what we can do in that regard. And hopefully we can really turn this around and not have to worry about it for the continuing seasons as we go through. That would be the best case scenario. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals. We are back on the road, and as you can see here, the Jaguars have won and taken our spot in the division, which means at this point we are fighting for a wild card spot, which is not good at all because we're not in position to win a wild card spot right now. The Saints did get a win. Another bad news there for the Aviators. Things are just not going our way. So before I forget, let's go ahead and try to adjust with the sliders just a wee bit. I don't want to adjust anything too crazy too quickly. It's just something that might take a little time. Run blocking. Down one. We're not getting a whole lot of fumbles. So let's move fumbles up on both sides of the ball here. We're not really getting many fumbles at all. Pass coverage. So I think the coverage is the one that you're supposed to raise up a little bit. And then the reaction time down. Which means over here, what I would do is move this down to 90. And if that's correct, maybe it means that our guys will be in position to make plays a little bit more. Because the coverage thing should mean they're already there. But obviously that has not been happening. So their run blocking, I think I'm going to take down a little bit as well. Again, they've just been breaking off some monster runs. And then last but not least, what I think I'm going to do is the... where's it at? Where did I pass it? Where's it at? Last but not least, I think I'm going to do the... there. Defensive pass interference. That call's happening a little bit more often than I would like. So we're going to try this. Again, hopefully this will work. If not, we'll adjust it just a little bit more. I think, again, we have a base that I like quite a bit. It's just about tweaking it and perfecting it at this point. And I thought I had it earlier on in the season. Things were kind of going well. But lately, teams are just relentless against our defense. And again... They are always wide open. There's never any defenders within 5 yards of anybody. And I think that's where it gets really frustrating for me. That's what I want to change, what I want to avoid in the future. So bear with me while we go through this, guys. I know some people are tired of messing with the sliders, but as long as it's giving me games like that, I'm going to have to try to adjust it. Max Austin, 31-49, 4 touchdowns for him. Byron Maxwell with 2 interceptions, 5 tackles. Snow with a interception, a fumble forced, a fumble recovered, and a touchdown. That is a complete game for a defender there. And then Joe Flacco, 35 of 47, 3 passing touchdowns for him and 1 rushing touchdown. Let's go ahead and check out the yearly awards. We'll get back to all the stats again in another week or two. Let's just see what we got right now. Mariota falling down to number 4 there. And Geno Smith back on the list, and Kaepernick has fallen off the list towards the end. So let's go ahead and check out. Well, let's check out our division stats. We can do that. Let's look at that. So, Russell, that one pass. 1 for 1. Passing yards, it's going to be Mariota by quite a wide margin here. Blake Bortles, number 2. Andrew Luck, 3. And Dalton Crosby, 4. Again, he missed quite a lot of time. And maybe it was a good thing for them. Because, look, Savage was playing much, much better than Dalton Crosby is. Now, Crosby is a rookie. He's going to come along in time. But, I mean, the difference between those two players at that point is pretty substantial. Dalton Crosby seems to be turning the ball over quite a lot, as you can see there. Running the ball, Monte Ball going to take the lead from Bishop Sankey. Again, Sankey, 5.7 yards a carry. He only has 1 touchdown on the season, though. Oh, there's Blake. Only 1 touchdown on the season. Frank Gore sitting there with 7, and he will lead the division. 4 for Monte Ball, Chris Ivory, and Kerwin Williams. And Doran Dickerson on that list as well. David Cobb with 3. Did a solid job filling in while Sankey was out. Anton Reed, the rookie, with 3 there. TJ Yeldon with 3 as well. Emmanuel Sanders leading the way with 62 catches, 49 for Hopkins, 48. And we had Curtis Harden and Wayne Chapman up on that list earlier. They have since fallen off. Touchdowns, though, it's not even close. Sean Sutton just having a killer season for the Columbus Aviators with 12. Nobody within 5 touchdowns of him. Unbelievable. And that would be DeAndre Hopkins, who's a great player in his own right, obviously, with 7. A few guys here with 5, including Curtis Harden. And a few with 4, including Chance Jokel, who has more than Wayne Chapman. So Chance Jokel really coming to play, showing that maybe that should be his spot on the depth chart there. 113 tackles for Marquestin Huff. Sacks, we got 11 for Derek Morgan, 5.5 for Newsome, 5 for Avery Williamson and Ray McDonald. Interceptions, 4 for Tyrone Stevens, 3 for Avery Williamson, 2 for Rashad Jones, Justin Bethel, Brian Cushing, Milliner, Janoris Jenkins, a bunch of guys there. And Vincent Snow's that second-year guy who we just saw win Defensive Player of the Week. But, you know, outside of Stevens and Williamson, we're not getting a whole lot of interceptions. I think Kirkpatrick has one. Other than that, I don't know that we have one. So these two guys have really been pulling that entire load there for the Aviators defense. Fumbles forced, 3 guys there with 2. And Vincent Snow just really seems to be a good player. He really seems to be contributing everywhere on the field for the Jaguars. And might be a key guy that we're going to have to pay attention to as this series progresses. As you see, he has 2 touchdowns as well. The guy's just getting it done in every facet of the game. Let's go ahead and check out some kicking stats. 17 of 17, 16 of 17, 12 of 12, 11 of 12. Again, I kind of lowered that a little bit. Kind of waiting to see if it'll kick into play a little bit maybe. 1 touchdown return for Reggie Kelly there. No punt returns for a touchdown. So let's go ahead and check out the Cardinals lineup. See what they got going on. What we're going up against. They don't have a great record right now, so I'm kind of hoping we have an easier game. Of course, that didn't really matter against the Rams, who ended up beating us anyway. But they are really struggling at quarterback. They have Kellen Moore starting, 74 overall. I don't know why they wouldn't start the rookie Patrick Blake here, who's better and younger. Interesting coaching decision there. Theo Riddick going to be at running back, and then they have David Johnson behind him at fullback, DeMarco at wide receiver. Demarius Thomas, so that's a big free agent acquisition for the Cardinals. They're replacing Fitzgerald as their number 1 guy. Michael Floyd at number 2, Mike Williams 3, Jarius Wright 4, and Jared Roberson at number 5. Tight end, they have Orson Charles and James Hanna. Sounds like a cartoon duo there. Veld here at left tackle, Mike Iupati at left guard. I mean, this is a beast offensive line that they are working with right here. And that could definitely help an otherwise kind of lackluster offense outside of the receiving game. Campbell's still there, left end. Melvin Ingram going to be at right end. At defensive tackle, they have Al Woods and Chris Baker. Quentin Copel's coming over at that left outside linebacker spot for them, even though he's a right outside linebacker. Derek Gayton, Shakir Gayton's brother, going to be at right outside linebacker. Akeem Ayers there as well. Patrick Peterson and Malcolm Butler going to be the corners. At free safety, they have Daron Harmon now. And at strong safety, Dion Buchanan. All right, so they got a pretty good defense there. Definitely a group capable of making quite a lot of plays, something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button. It really does help me out quite a lot, guys. And I appreciate you all for all the support throughout these mini-seasons, trials, and tribulations. But thanks again for watching, and I will catch you guys in Week 12 as we take on the Arizona Cardinals. Later!